Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the Red Shadow here, and I'm back with another pickup video. I didn't do a July pickups video because at the end of July I had maybe 3 or 4 of these pickups amassed, and I didn't want to do a real short pickups video, mainly for one big reason, and that was just because I knew August I was going to be getting a sufficient enough additional pickups to make a decent length video. I try not to go super long on these, but I also don't want to just like show 3 things and then that be it. So anyway, that was my decision for why I just didn't do a short video at the end of July. Now I've got a little bit of a decent stack of games and a couple of Blu-rays to show. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. First thing I'm going to show is the only actual movie that I bought from my Blu-rays. But this is No Hard Feelings. This is a new comedy from Jennifer Lawrence. And this was getting some buzz of being sort of like just a raunchy, kind of edgy comedy, which you don't see as much nowadays, and especially something with Jennifer Lawrence, her kind of coming back to acting after a few years of being away. I thought, that's one of those movies that I wanted to grab, even though I was tempted to try to see whatever streaming service it would be on. I'm currently subscribed to Apple Plus and Peacock, but it's not on those. As far as I know, it's going to be on Netflix or whatever. And I just so happened to see it in the store, and so I decided to snag it. Alright, and then the other 2 things that I have for Blu-rays are TV shows, seasons of TV shows, and I want to talk a little bit about them. First thing I wanted to show is Season 2 of The X-Files on Blu-ray. I picked up the first season like in November of last year. It was somewhere in that area that I grabbed it because I saw it on where I shared it on some of my Facebook groups. But I'm trying to get the original 9 seasons to replace my DVD box set of the first 9 seasons. Not necessarily replace. I'm not going to get rid of that DVD box set, but I want to get them all on Blu-ray so I can watch them in HD, and it'll be my preferred way to watch them. I also have a couple of discs in my in my DVD box set that skip, and some of the episodes are hard to get all the way through. So I'm hoping that having them on Blu-ray will remedy that situation. But I'd hoped to have been picking them up about maybe a season a month or something like that, and have more than just season 1. This is like 10 months later. I would have thought I would have had maybe have them all by this point. So I kind of fell off on that, and I don't know why. So I picked up season 2, and next month you'll see a few more seasons the next time I do my pickups video. I'd kind of like to get all 9 the original seasons, because I already have seasons 10 and 11 in both movies on Blu-ray. If I get the original 9 seasons, then I think October, Halloween month, will see me start another watch through of the entire series all the way through. Okay, and then the other thing that I picked up was season 3 of Lost. Now, I already own all 6 seasons of Lost on Blu-ray, but a sad thing happened a few years back once I had gotten all 6 seasons, and I went to watch the entirety of Lost for the first time since I'd watched it on TV when it originally aired. And then I got to season 3 of Lost, of the original Blu-rays that I bought, and I still have the disc sitting over here to the side, but this is season 3, disc 6, and I believe what happened, because I don't have the actual whole season 3 close at hand, but I believe what happened was I go into it after watching disc 4, I go to pick up disc 5, and my season had 2 disc 6s and no disc 5. And it had already been months, if not who knows how long, after I'd bought it that I realized it. I'd bought them on eBay, so there was no returning it or trying to get it fixed. It was just a matter of spending the last 5, 6, 7 years, every once in a while being like, maybe I ought to look on eBay and see if anyone's selling that disc by itself. Well, nobody was ever selling it by themselves. They were selling the whole season, and they were asking $20 or more for it. I finally found a whole third season Lost Blu-ray set on eBay for $8, and I thought, I don't think I'm gonna find a better deal, and I sure as shit don't want to wait any longer. I'm actually currently watching Lost now, and I'm in season 2, so I can get through season 3 this coming time, and then see seasons 4, 5, and 6 basically for the first time since they aired in the late 2000s. It's so sad to think that next year in 2024 will be the 20th anniversary of Lost. This year, in just a couple of days, in fact, is the 30th anniversary of the X-Files. But the difference in time and the way that they feel when you're watching them between the X-Files and Lost it's just miles. It seems like there could be 50 years between when they aired. But Lost started in 2004 and X-Files in 93. So that's that for the Blu-rays that I picked up. So now it's just a stack of games. So let's jump right on in here. The very first game I have to show is a game called Minoria. No subtitle unless that's something in Japanese or another language. But anyway, Minoria is a sort of spiritual successor to the Momodora series, and they're basically Metroidvania-style platforming games. I got this from Limited Run Games. I looked at it and I thought, I like the animation style. It looks really cool. The gameplay looked fine. But then it was like, oh, it also comes from the people who made Momodora, which I own at least one of the Momodora games, maybe 2. And I know that they have really good reviews. People's impressions are pretty high. So I decided to grab this from Limited Run. Then I had to go ahead and get this into my collection finally. It's the Cat Quest 1 and 2 Dual Pack, or the Possum Pack as they call it. I think sometime earlier in the year, it was revealed that a Cat Quest 3 was coming. Originally it was called Cat Quest Pirates of the... Is it Pirates of the Caribbean? It's Pirates of the Caribbean. I was trying to remember what the cat-related pun was. But then I was thrown because more recently I saw another trailer for that new Cat Quest game, and it just said Cat Quest 3. So I don't know if they decided to drop the subtitle or not. But what's weird about this is I don't think you can get Cat Quest 2 by itself on a physical PS4 copy. You have to get this 2-pack. I already own the original Cat Quest game. I wish I would have played it by this point so I could speak more to it, but they just looked really awesome. Little RPG games with cats as your main character. But this was super cheap, so I got the 2-pack. And then I don't know if the third game's coming to PS4 or if that'll be a PS5 game. But I'm looking forward to it, even though it's pirate-related and I'm not a pirate guy. Alright, next thing I have up here is Oddworld Soulstorm. This is a cool steelbook version, but it's kind of a bummer. I bought this and it was cheap, but when I got it, it was damaged, and there's some denting and a little bit of a tear to the sleeve. And I thought about contacting the seller on eBay, but I just don't. I really hate the whole oh, you got to ship it, and then you got to wait to get another copy, and a bunch of this stuff. I just thought, considering this was under $15, and there are other copies of this on eBay for the same or less of a price, I'm just going to pick up a new one in the future. I really got this one not because I want to play it so much as I had a fascination with the Oddworld games when they came out on the PS1. They looked really cool, but the gameplay didn't do much for me. The sort of Lemmings-like thing and trying to lead your fellow, Oddworld inhabitants out of, danger and imprisonment. I found that gameplay to be kind of lackluster, but I've just had such a thing for the Oddworld games over the years. I kind of want to grab all the games in the collection to put into my collection, just as sort of a tip of the hat or a little bit of respect to the games and the developers. Alright, next thing I have up here is another game from Limited Run, and this is Night in the Woods. I'm kind of surprised to finally see the physical version of this game come out. This game was critically acclaimed, and it looked really cool, and I enjoyed the artwork, and another game with a cat as your main character. But there is a bit of a fog over the game due to the developer, and I don't know all the details, so I'm not really going to get into it. But the guy is no longer with us, took his own life after being accused of something that he may or may not have done. And it felt like that halted the progress on getting this on a physical for a long, long time. And then all of a sudden there it was, up for pre-order, so I definitely had to grab it. There's a game called Revenant Hill that I think is going to be a spiritual successor or sequel or whatever to this. It has the same-ish art style, I believe. So it looked cool, but I'm just glad to kind of have one of these games that I've always heard good things about in the collection, as usual. And here comes another limited run effort, and I'm so happy to see this. This is just so cool. But this is Blade Runner Enhanced Edition. So this is a PC game that I have owned since the 90s. In fact, it's on the other side of the TV over there on one of my shelves. It's my copy of it. Me and Blade Runner have had a strange relationship over the years. I think I've only seen the movie once. I barely remember it. And then seeing it at all at any point in the last 30 years doesn't really mean much because there are so many different cuts of the movie. I do believe I have a Blu-ray that includes 5 different versions of it, including the so-called preferred version. And then there's the sequel that came along. But this game was a part of that time for me in the 90s where I kind of explored PC games, especially point-and-click stuff, full-motion video, adventure games, and things along those lines. Blade Runner was one of those where I was like, you know what, I'll check that out. And the vibe and the atmosphere to it, the graphics from back then aren't great, but the atmosphere, the music, the visuals, the Blade Runner world and style really captured me. I never was able to complete the game. I don't remember if that was just convoluted or confusing puzzles, or if I know that there was kind of an action combat mechanic in the game where you had to click and shoot, and things would happen fast, and if you weren't quick enough to do it, you'd die, and yada yada yada. So I never did finish it. I'm hoping that I'll be able to play through this and finish it. Now this ran into a bit of a snag because I guess the original code or whatever for the game was lost, and so Night Dive Studios has been doing a lot of these games that end up coming to limited run like this. I guess they did the best that they could, but I have heard that there's a Steam version with mod support from fans that's a much better version than maybe what this could have possibly been. So who knows? We'll see. But I just still think it's cool just to have that. another one of these old games from my past that I never would have thought anybody out there would remember, let alone, a company would come and put it on disc. Alright, so here's an interesting one, but I had to get this after getting the first one. So this is Destroy All Humans 2. This is not like a remaster or an HD updo on the original game, but this is like an actual remake from THQ Nordic and Black Forest Games. I got the first one, I figured that was sometime this year, and then the second one was announced as coming along, but it was only going to be like PS5 and Xbox Series consoles. It was going to be for the new generation of consoles. And then all of a sudden, this version came along that plasters all over it. Single player, no multiplayer. And I'm thinking, I don't care. I don't care about playing with other people. I don't care about co-op or any of that. There was a separate multiplayer Destroy All Humans game called Clone Carnage that came out, around the time that this came out. But I'm not sure that that's what this refers to. I've heard that the current gen versions have two-player co-op for the campaign, and this version doesn't have that, which is cool because I don't need it. I'm not playing this game with other people. I'm just playing it for myself. So I'm so glad that they did actually put out a version on PS4 that was relatively cheap, and like I said, I was gonna say force me. It wouldn't have forced me to it, but it's just nice that they could drop that they couldn't maybe do on PS4, and I can just have the version that I would want to play and play now, like whenever I want to play, not whenever it is down the road that I get a PS5. Okay, let's show a controversial one, and actually kind of a bummer too, with the news that came out this past week. But I picked up a Steelbook version called the Steel Edition of Saints Row, the newest Saints Row that came out last year, the one that lots of people say is kind of watered down, corny, woke, or whatever version of Saints Row when compared to the original. Now, I just had my first play of any Saints Row game earlier this year, Saints Row the Third, and I thought it was fine. It was over the top and bizarre and out there, and I never played the first two games, but I know that they were a little bit more grounded towards feeling like a Grand Theft Auto game. And then, they realized that with Saints Row they were never going to be able to compete with your Grand Theft Autos, San Andreas 4, 5, yada yada yada. That they had to do something else, so they started going weird and over the top, and that was fine. Like I said, it was a fun game. I had fun just sort of, shooting stuff, doing little missions, flying around, driving the cars, destruction and explosions, and all that kind of fun stuff. That was fine. It just wasn't a game that I connected with the way I did with a GTA 5. This, didn't do very good. It was critically panned for the most part. And so I wasn't going to spend $50 or $60 on it. But once I was able to get this for $18.99, I was like, sure. Even with the announcement that it's coming to PS Plus, at the time I'm recording this on the 5th, I guess that's tomorrow. But I'm not doing PS Plus. I haven't done it since March, and they're increasing the price on it, the yearly price for all three tiers. I have no reason to pay more money for a service that I don't play online multiplayer, and I don't really care too much about the free monthly games. So I'm not going to pay for that service, especially now that they're going to increase the price. But I don't mind buying a game like this. I mean, some people will say that that's stupid, that I won't pay for a service where you get free games, but I'll spend money on a shit game like this. But I don't care. I wanted to play it, and I wanted to check it out. I got to play it for a few hours a couple nights ago, and it's not bad. Sure, I can understand some of the complaints. It feels like the game was just kind of thrown together. Like it didn't quite have the care that even the third have, and certainly not like a Grand Theft Auto has. But I don't regret picking it up because I'll play it through. It's going to give me the kind of gaming I want right now, which is just like no thinking, no brains. I'm going to talk about a game here in a second that I had to put down because right now for me in my life, I just got back to work about a month ago. My dad's been here a lot recently, and I'm just sort of stressed, and I want my escapism. A game like this has given me what I want way more than games with a lot of puzzles, a lot of thinking involved. So that's how I justify that. Not that I have to justify it. I'm just saying. I had too many people in groups tell me every time I show a game that I bought, like, oh, that was just on PS Plus. Why didn't you just get it for free? Like, because I'm a physical collector, first of all. But I don't mind giving somebody money for these games. Okay, next thing I'm going to show here is a game. It's from Red Art Games, but I purchased it from Video Games Plus. I've been looking forward to this for a while. This game is from the creator of Dead Cells. That's a roguelike game, and I don't play roguelike games, but this one, as far as I know, doesn't have any roguelike aspects to it. It's pretty much just a platformer slash Metroidvania. Excuse me. Anyway, this is Nuclear Blaze, and it's in a nice big box. It has a keychain included. It's small, you can kind of barely see it in the picture. I haven't opened this up yet because I'm just not ready to jump into this one yet. But I definitely wanted to pick it up. It was only like $35. And because I pre-ordered it, I also got some enamel pins for Nuclear Blaze. But this is basically, like I said before, it's sort of a Metroidvania style or, side-screen action, puzzle platformer. And you're a fireman. So you're putting out fires, you're fighting fires on these levels. The visual look of it was really cool. I love the color to it. These screenshots are pretty small, but I'd say just look up a video about it and you'll get more information. That was a game that the moment I first saw it, I thought, the moment I first saw it, I was like, I really want to check that out. So I waited a while to pre-order, but I still got my pre-order in so I could get my pins, and I was happy about that. I need to hurry because my stupid camera, I haven't used it in 2 months, and the battery is going down quick. So the last 3 things I have to show. First thing here is Tunic. Ever so happy that this 1 came to PS4 and 2 got a physical copy. This came from Fangamer. So nice slip cover there. Show the back a little bit. It's got a little bit of that sort of like, I don't know, holographic foil style look. And I don't want to open this because the stuff will probably come out. But yeah, there's instruction booklet and there's stickers, and I believe this one had a digital soundtrack that came with it. I got to play it for a while and I was really enjoying it. But this is the game that I've kind of talking about, Saints Row. There's too much brain power that needs to be used in this. It's puzzling. It's like a Zelda game, but in like a 3D-ish map. And there's a lot of secrets and a lot of things going on with it, including like uncovering the instruction manual to learn how to progress through things in the game. But like I said, more than anything, I'm just super happy to have this on the shelf. And then once my life levels out a little bit here, hopefully in the next couple of months, I'll go back to it and enjoy some more time with it. Alright, second to the last game is the next Trails game in my collection. Trying to build up as much of the core Trails games, especially the ones that are on PS4. This is Legend of Heroes Trails into Reverie. This, I think, completes the 3 games that I've been waiting for, which was Reverie, Zero, and Azure. That may not be in that order, but there's those. Then there's the Trails of Cold Steel 1 through 4. There are 3 prior games that don't have physicals. I don't even think are on the PS4, but they're on my Steam wish list. There's one or two other ones that I know that are coming, I believe, to PS4, like a Nayuta or something like that. And then I think once I have all of them, I'm going to try to start dipping my toes into this series. I've heard so much good about these, and I just feel like kind of obscure-ish JRPGs coming to PS4, NIS stuff, and lots of other ones. If you don't get these within the first few months that they're out, then they go on to the secondary market and they get on eBay and then they get stupid priced. So I had to grab that one. I've just heard so much. This feels like probably the biggest overlooked JRPG series out there. Everybody thinks of Final Fantasy. They think of the Ys games. They think of the Tales games, etc., etc. The Trails or Legend of Heroes series gets so much love and gets talked about so much that I'm like, yeah, I have to get into that. And the last thing that I have to show, for some reason I'm thinking I may have already showed this, but you know what, I'm going to show it regardless. If it's the second time, then it's the second time. But 2 months is a long time on pickup videos for me to maybe remember everything for sure that I've shown. But it was in my stack of stuff, so I'm going to trust it. Anyway, this is Shadow Warrior 3. This is the last game that I've picked up from Special Reserve Games. I don't really know what's going on with them over there right now. I don't, like, they haven't announced any new pre-orders in a while. Not like they were splashing them out there like Limited Run does all the time. But I'm in their Discord and I just feel like they're having some issues of their own. But anyway, Shadow Warrior 3. The Shadow Warrior games have always interested me, and especially this newer trilogy. So I've picked up all 3 of them at this point. I got number 481 of 2,500. So that's the lowest number I think I've gotten on anything from Special Reserve. It's not a lot. It's only a small handful of games I've bought from them. But there was a little bit of a delay on this one, so that the version that would come out here would be the definitive edition. I think that's just extra DLC content and whatnot. But love the artwork, love the look and the style of. It's like a first-person perspective, both melee and guns. And get an Special Reserve art card with this. And that's just the back piece that shows that. I don't remember if there was anything else with this one. A lot of times these kind of games come with digital soundtracks as well. I was just super glad to get it in the collection. I need to play these games. I've picked up and I have played or sampled the original Shadow Warrior 3, and yeah, that game was kind of rough. It's very Doom-like, but it's very, and compared to today's PC mindset, which isn't always a bad thing. It's not always a great thing either, but it was pretty stereotypical and very over the top in regards to that kind of stuff. So glad to have something that's maybe a little bit more modernized in both look and feel. Well, I guess that was it. We got through it. My battery hasn't died yet, so I'm going to wrap this up. I don't know exactly when this will finally be uploaded. It won't be uploaded tonight after I get done, but hopefully by Friday the 8th. Yeah, so it won't be too far into the month. And like I said, September, yeah, that's where we're at. We're in September already. The year's been going. I don't think I've ever had a year fly by so fast and drag so damn slow at the same time. But I should have some fun stuff to show off. I already have one video game that has come in officially in September, and then I have some stuff coming in through eBay just in this week alone. So anyway, should be fun. And I guess that's it. I'm rambling a bit, so we'll close this off. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.